Hello and welcome to the January 5th, 2021 Hemp Show powered by CannTrade. My name is Mark Rastelli. I'm the CEO of CannTrade and the host of the Hemp Show. Joining us next on the Hemp Show, we have John Houston, the CEO of Kushla Life Sciences. Kushla is a cannabis manufacturer focused on driving the transition from traditional consumption methods to fast-acting edible, beverage, and oral ingested concentrates. John and his team combine science and technology with exceptional branding and innovative marketing strategy. John's 20-year background in cultivation allows him to bridge the gap between legacy cannabis industry professionals and the emerging business culture. Kushla was recently featured in Forbes Magazine for its fast-acting R.E.A.C.T formulation, a base ingredient that allows any product manufacturer to create products that take effect within minutes. Thank you very much for being here, John, and welcome to the Hemp Show.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys. I'm excited to be talking with you guys. Kushla we're a cannabis manufacturing distribution company here in California, and we also have a hemp-derived cannabinoid kind of separate company, but under the same kind of technologies and the same brand. What we are essentially is a formulations science and manufacturing company. We are focused on kind of helping to make cannabinoids more available to the body through formulations and solving problems with taste, compatibility with water, and things like that.
Excellent. So let's, if you don't mind, I'd love to dive directly into the Kushla Life Sciences R.E.A.C.T formulation. From what it sounds like to me is it is a way of making cannabinoids more bioavailable by adding a specific ingredient, a carrier of sorts that will react and then ingest into the body, better to help kind of drive those cannabinoids into your system. Is that kind of a good high level? And then obviously I'd love to learn or get a little bit more specific about what it exactly is.
Yeah, that's a pretty good high level description. It's based on a technology called self-emulsifying drug delivery system. It is different than most nano-emulsions that you will find on the market, in that it's not actually an emulsion until it comes in contact with water. It has a kind of a reaction with water, which is why we called it R.E.A.C.T. And it emulsifies into nanoparticles that are 30 to 50 nanometers in diameter. And it's also formulated to absorb into different parts of the digestive tract, immediately into mucosal membrane, and then into the digestive tract. As far as we can tell, we don't have PK studies yet, or something we're working on, which would kind of demonstrate and prove the mode of action. But what we from what we can tell, it is mostly absorbed, if not completely absorbed, by a lymphatic system, bypassing the liver, which means that the cannabinoids are not converted into kind of other forms by liver enzymes that can, have different effects. So what that means on a high level is that it is the feeling of it is much more like, vaping or smoking.
For an edible product, right? Which an edible product typically takes, a standard edible product, everybody said it's always like 30 to 45 minutes, low and slow, because you don't want that train wreck effect if you have 2 or 3 edibles within 15 minutes and then everything hits you all at once, at least from the THC edible side. Now you said it doesn't convert in the bypasses the liver. Definitely no expert here, but my understanding was you take an edible, and I'm just going to use THC for example. When you ingest THC, your body then converts that, I believe, through liver enzymes into 11-hydroxy THC,
That's
and
correct.
then which is basically a different drug with a different effect.
Absolutely, yeah.
So therefore the React formula, when combined with a certain cannabinoid like CBD or THC, would then not have that. It would get ingested by, you said, the lymphatic system.
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh,
It absorbs immediately. You can feel the effects in 5 to 10 minutes. And it feels, just the quality of the experience feels much more like, vaping or smoking than kind of a traditional edible. So
excellent.
yeah, I'll show you the product. This is our CBD version, hemp derived CBD version. Um,
Okay.
it is just a jar of 1,000 milligrams of CBD. Each scoop is 25 milligrams. And I'll show you kind of how it works here.
And that right there is a consumer good, right? That's a packaged consumer
That's
good.
correct. Yeah. So,
Take my CBD scoop, put that into water or
yep, that's
something that I'm going
absolutely
to
correct.
ingest.
So there's a scoop inside the jar. It looks just
Okay.
like this. It's a quarter teaspoon. Um, when mixed with water, it kind of immediately
Oh, that's
um,
cool.
dissolves. That'll be
For everybody that's listening right now, he took one of the scoops of the powdered CBD formula of React and just dropped it into some water, and now it's looks like it's dissolving pretty quickly.
Yeah, I use water just to kind of demonstrate the taste usually because it's that's one of the problems that was very, very difficult for us to solve. Typically, nano emulsions are limited in that they either taste incredibly bitter and have kind of a high bioavailability, rapid onset, or they taste acceptable, but they take they're more like a traditional edible. They'll take 45 minutes or an hour to take effect. So we worked on that problem for 3 years, and we were able to finally solve it. So the formulation, actually, you can see, with no real agitation, it's completely dissolved, and it is tastes slightly sweet, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very,
but very neutral in flavor. So
very cool. Now, question on the React formula. So that the packaged good you just pulled out there, like I said, that's for customers,
it
consumers.
is. It's direct to
Um,
consumer, but we also sell it in cases to
okay.
stores and distributors.
What
We,
what about
yeah,
wholesale? Do you what about
absolutely.
other product formulators and manufacturers across the country? Do you sell it in bulk to them?
Yeah, I do. We do. We actually we that's how we kind of started out. That's what our original business model was, is to partner with other brands and kind of infuse power other brands with our formulations. Um, and we developed this product over time in a retail product, just kind of by popular demand. People wanted. We were giving it to our friends to try out our formulations just in their raw kind of form, and everybody was like, you should come out with this just as a product by itself so that anybody can infuse
Mhm.
anything.
Right. Now,
Um,
now, the formulation, obviously that powder has the CBD directly in it. Is this a scenario where a manufacturer, we'll say a CBD manufacturer in Colorado, has their own CBD distillate or isolate that they'd like to go ahead and convert to
mhm.
this more bioavailable format that you then have the ingredients and the processes that they can utilize to do it for their own goods? Or is this a scenario where they purchase the formulation and the actual cannabinoid from you
Yep.
directly?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So within California in the cannabis, THC cannabis, we sell it as a finished formulation, including THC. through our manufacturing facility. In other states, we would license the technology. So if a manufacturer in another state or a multi-state operator wants to use it in one of their products, we take the technology to them, send them the base ingredients to make the formulation, and give them an SOP to kind of assemble it there in their own facility under their license. For CBD and other hemp-derived cannabinoids, we can ship the formulation as a finished product. And to answer your question, yes, we can do toll processing if there's some kind of advantage to it for the manufacturer. If somebody wants a full spectrum extract turned into the formulation, we can absolutely encapsulate, all of the terpenes and cannabinoids that, other than CBD as well, and make it, strain specific, farm specific, regional specific. So it's very, 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 versatile
Okay.
that way. Yeah.
So just to summarize that, just to make sure I fully understood that, if it's THC, it's California only, unless another THC business would like to license the formulation, the process in another state,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah.
If it's CBD, you can do their CBD if they'd like to. However, you can also sell that across state lines to anybody. And then I'm also guessing that you would license that as well, although it's not nearly as much of a need to license it because you can cross state lines with shipping.
Yep, that's right. It's typically less expensive for us to just make it and sell it to them as a kind of infused formulation. But sometimes sometimes companies want something very specific, encapsulated, and so we have
Sure.
done that a couple times.
Yeah,
Um,
like their specific formulation that they need exact every time, and
yeah.
that's what you'd be doing. Okay.
So
So
what?
I don't know, you may
Oh,
not
I'm
know
sorry.
this, but I actually have a edible line that I'm partner with out in
Oh,
Los
cool.
Angeles, and been searching for something like this in California for a while now. So we'll talk after this. I'm gonna need to get some test samples to go ahead and try out in our edibles.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Yeah,
Very
we've been
cool.
working with, some of the biggest, multi-state operators, and as well as a lot of small brands. We are, yeah, we're really in kind of R&D phases with a lot of companies. I wanted to mention also that we have our CBD jars available, but we are in the next couple of weeks we're also coming out with Delta 8, CBG, and CBN. And those will be individual jars, and the idea is to kind of put the power back into the consumer's hands, so that the customer can make their own kind of ratios and find the ratio that works the best for them. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent. So I've mentioned this before on the Hemp Show related to nano technology and kind of the absorption methods into the body. One of the issues that I've seen, at least at a retail level, is a lack of consumer education
Yep.
related to the actual bioavailability of the cannabinoids. As say someone going into a hemp shop and I see something is 100 milligrams, it doesn't necessarily mean that when I eat that or I have that I'm going to get those 100 milligrams. I may get 20. Yet you see the exact same product for, say, a similar price that's 20 milligrams, yet it's got the nanotechnology. And if I was to eat that, I get all 20 milligrams. Have you seen any issues related to customer education, with the nanotechnology?
I think people are starting to catch on and kind of understand it more and more. It is, but yeah, absolutely. There is definitely that to overcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's going to be, I mean, it's going to be an ongoing battle because obviously the legacy products, you're always going to have products that are not necessarily that bioavailable and they're still sold in stores. Yet, companies that are on kind of the forefront of technology and moving into that space, such as yourself, have a very effective product and can utilize every gram of those cannabinoids to get that and achieve that desired effect within someone's body, which is great.
Absolutely.
But so that's wrapping up our time here. If you're interested in connecting with John and Kushla Life Sciences, please add them to your network on CannTrade. You can also place orders and ask questions directly from the Kushla Wholesale store, posted in the webinar chat, also in the CannTrade feed, and in the podcast and YouTube show notes. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, John.
All right. Thanks for having me, Mark.
All right, thank you. And we'll talk soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Take
right,
care.
cool.